All right, let's talk about something we hear all the time, getting rich. But what if the real goal isn't about having more stuff, but about needing less from a job you don't love? Today, we're going to dig into financial independence. And I'm not talking about some get rich quick scheme. No, this is about a journey to take back your time, your choices, and really your life.
For a lot of people, it all starts with a moment just like this one. Imagine it. You're on a snowboarding trip in Japan. You're having the time of your life, and then you get an email, a layoff. This Reddit user, Sashi_0536, said they actually hated their tech job, but it still hurt. And that feeling right there, that jarring reminder of how little control you actually have, that's what often lights the fire for this whole journey.
So, what exactly are we talking about when we say financial independence? Well, it's not really about being rich in the way we usually think, mansions and sports cars. It's actually much simpler and way more profound. It's the point where work becomes a choice. It's when your money starts working for you, hard enough that your lifestyle is covered, whether you show up to an office or not. It's pure freedom. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get into the why, the big dream that gets people started. Then we'll cover the common mistakes people make along the way. After that, we'll lay out the actual blueprint to get it done. We'll even look at some real stories with real numbers to show you this stuff works. And finally, we'll talk about what all this money really buys you in the end. Okay, first up, the motivation. I mean, why would anyone choose a path that takes so much discipline? It's not just about escaping the 9 to 5 rat race. As you're about to see, the reasons people chase this are way deeper and a lot more personal than just wanting to quit a job. And when you look at why people are really doing this, it's incredibly human. Check this out. One person wants to do more volunteer work. Another just wants the emotional energy to be present with their family. And this one hits hard. Gaining the confidence to just say no at work. See, it's not just about running away from something bad, it's about having the freedom to build something truly good. But of course, the path isn't always easy. So let's talk about the pitfalls, the common traps that can completely derail this whole journey. Because honestly, avoiding these mistakes is just as important as how much money you save. Listen, if you only remember one warning from this entire explainer, make it this one. High interest debt, we're talking credit card debt here, is a legit financial emergency. It's not just a weight holding you down. Think of it like an active fire. It's compounding against you, burning up your future wealth before you even get a chance to build it. And that brings up a really important point. Not all debt is the same. It's not even close. On one hand, you've got what you could call good debt. Think a low-interest mortgage on a home. That can be a tool to build an asset. But on the other side, you have bad debt, credit card balances, payday loans. That stuff just eats away at your wealth. One helps you build, the other will always tear you down. Now, this next mistake is all about your mindset, and it is a total game changer. The normal approach is basically just hope, right? I'll save whatever's left over at the end of the month. But we all know how that goes. There's never anything left. The FI approach is different. It's intentional. You pay yourself first, and you automate it. Saving becomes a bill you have to pay, just like your rent or your phone bill. It's non-negotiable. Okay, enough with the problems. Let's get to the solutions. We've talked about the why and the what not to do. So now let's get into the step-by-step framework for actually building your own financial independence plan. And here it is, a simple 7-step playbook. It all starts with knowing your goal. What does the life you want actually cost? From there, you build a solid foundation. You get rid of that nasty high-interest debt and build up a safety net. And only then do you start automating your investments, protecting your future from risk, and of course, checking in every so often to make sure you're still on track. And sometimes you just need to hear it put bluntly. This Reddit user, yet another nerd, really doesn't pull any punches here. But they're right. That discipline, that ability to prioritize your later money over your now money, that is the secret sauce. It's about making a tough choice today so you can have an infinitely easier life tomorrow. So, does all this theory actually work in the real world? It's one thing to talk about it, but let's see the proof. Let's look at some real numbers from real people who have put these exact principles to the test. Okay, check out this timeline from one user. And look closely, because this is where the magic happens. Notice how the time it takes to hit each new $100,000 milestone gets shorter and shorter and shorter. Getting from 0 to 100 grand took about a year and a half. But to get from 700 to 800,000, just 7 months. That, my friends, is the power of compounding. Your money starts doing the heavy lifting for you. And what's so cool is that there's no single right way to do this. You've got your high earner in big tech, you've got your steady saver who never made more than 95,000 a year, and you've got someone in the military with a solid pension. They all took completely different roads, but they all got to financial freedom using the exact same core ideas.
This slide right here is, wow, just look at the before plan. It's a totally solid strategy, ends up with over 370 grand. Pretty good. But now look what happens when you make a few tweaks. You add what the community calls financial defense, which is just cutting costs to save more, and financial offense, finding ways to make more money. With those small strategic shifts, the final number explodes to almost $1.5 million. It's incredible.
We've spent a lot of time on the numbers and the strategies, but let's zoom out for a second. What's it all for? What's the real point of building all this wealth in the first place? See, reaching your financial independence number, that's not the finish line. It's actually the starting line. It's the moment you finally get the freedom to stop chasing a paycheck and you can start chasing a purpose. It's the beginning of a life that is designed 100% by you. And that brings us to the last question I want to leave you with. Forget for a second about what you would start doing with all that freedom. The really powerful question is, what would you stop? What chore, what stress, what soul-sucking obligation would you just put down for good? Answering that question, that is the true meaning of financial freedom.